So folks, I'm back. What are we talking about? We are not talking, when we look at SWOT, what is the biggest strength of the BJP? Many weaknesses, economy, unemployment, the way they handle COVID, etc., divisive politics, communal politics. Right? What's the biggest strength besides control of media, which is obviously one of the biggest strengths? What does that do? They spin their own stories, they put out some rosy pictures about the economy, they cover the truth, they kind of twist the news. But the biggest strength is the weakness of the grand old party. That's the biggest weakness, folks. And what do we have here? And how do they counter that? OBC outreach is one of the main things. Welfare schemes, that's going to be the other big thing. But here is the grounded old party. They've targeted Rahul Gandhi. They've got a huge target on his back. And that's the biggest weakness. And what do you got here? Robust opposition parties make for strong democracies, but India has been poorly served in this department for a while, with the Congress' steady decline amid frequent factional wars in state units and a central leadership in disarray. The party is looking woefully unprepared for 2022 assembly elections in 7 states. Even the longer-term fixes need to arrest the party's diminishing mind space among voters are getting delayed, while smaller opposition parties with no following beyond their home states are displaying increasing impatience with Congress' weak ground game against the BJP. Important part. The biggest problem confronting Congress has been the declining appeal of centrist politics in the last decade. India's political center has shifted rightwards, and presidential style of governance that encourage populist rhetoric and celebrate strong leaders are current flavors even in some opposition governed states. An aging brain trust that failed to recognize these trends, a deracinated Sion at the helm, and second-rung leaders obsessed with factional battles are liabilities that have personified Congress' talent deficit. Even more damaging has been the party's ability to retake lost social bases across many states, right? They have a lot going for them, especially with the 75th year of the independence coming and the 71 war. Two great things. Bangladesh Mantri thanks Indira, Indians Lords Modi for boosting tax. But just to remember, folks, what's happening here is the BJP just cannot take ownership of neither the independence, nor the 71 war, nor Indira Gandhi, and Jawaharlal Nehru keeps coming up no matter how much they try and demonize him, folks. Cheers. More later. So, folks, the biggest prize for the opposition to destabilize the BJP at the center and puncture its ambitions for 2024 has to be UP. Unfortunately, Congress has very little play or very little say in UP, except that they have an Arthashastra and a hidden weapon. And her name is Priyanka Gandhi. You got to hear this next couple of minutes from Sanjay Sharma of 4 p.m. who talks about her visit to Lucknow and the kind of connect she has. She has a brilliant connect in UP. With the people, the young people, they all have, she has a huge fan following. And it has to be used. But for that, what is critical is that she has to be left, as somebody says, Priyanka must camp in UP till poll state Congress netas. And she is there for every possible event that happens, that goes wrong in UP. She's there. Just like that Cheer Haran, that where the ladies during the Panchayat elections sari was robed, she went and met there. And it went viral. Everything goes, wherever she goes, it goes viral. It doesn't result in votes. That's because there's no follow-up. For that, she has to be there on the ground from now on till election. But why doesn't that happen? That's got to do with some kind of a threat perception in the Rahul camp, and the fact that there is a Italian mother syndrome that wants the sun to shine. But it's more like an Indian syndrome too, but Italian is far more extreme, their obsession with suns, right? And all these hanger-ons of this Rahul Gandhi brigade in Delhi are the reason why she's not being given the opportunity to go there. But she comes up all the time. The last one she came up with, open to forging UP poll alliances, is Priyanka. Her target, just remember, like I told you, the Brahmins are totally upset with the BJP Sarkar and especially Yogi, and they have been soft on Congress till the point of time Congress gave up that state to parties after the Mandal agitation, and that was the important part that where they lost. But they can get it back. And Samajwadi Party has absolutely no traction with the Brahmins. So there is a relationship that is possible between the Congress and the SP, but it has to be kept under wraps before it gets shot down with the media and the trolls of the BJP. Watch and hear.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं संजय शर्मा। आप देख रहे हैं 4 PM न्यूज नेटवर्क। सच में गजब की नेता है प्रियंका गांधी। आप कितनी भी उनकी आलोचना करिए, कितना भी कहते रहिए वो प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा हैं, और उनके बारे में जितनी बातें आपको बुरी बुरी कहनी हो करते रहिए, लेकिन कोई शक नहीं है जब प्रियंका गांधी मैदान में उतरती हैं तो वो बड़े से बड़े स्थापित नेताओं के मुकाबले में हमेशा भारी पड़ती नजर आती हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में कल से प्रियंका गांधी आई हुई हैं और जिसे कहते हैं ना तूफानी दौरा या क्रांति कर देने वाला दौरा। हर कदम पर वो इतनी ऊर्जा भर रही हैं कार्यकर्ताओं में जिसकी जितनी तारीफ की जाए कम है। लखनऊ में आई और मिली कार्यकर्ताओं से, लोगों ने परेशानी बताई। जीपीओ पे, लखनऊ का मेन जगह है हजरतगंज, जमीन पे धरने पे बैठ गई, मौन हो गई और पुलिस के भी हाथ पैर फूल गए। हजरतगंज दिल, लखनऊ की आत्मा। पुलिस वालों ने कहा कि साहब कोरोना का उल्लंघन है। पर्चे पे लिख के पकड़ा दिया कि पंचायत चुनाव में कहा गया था ये उल्लंघन, और देखते देखते वो पर्चा वायरल हो गया और लोगों ने सवाल पूछा कि जब पंचायत चुनाव में गांव-गांव में लोग मर रहे थे और आप पंचायत चुनाव करा रहे थे तो उस समय कोरोना याद नहीं आया? प्रियंका गांधी को पता था कि उत्तर प्रदेश में जो कोरोना को लेके गांव-गांव में जो लाशें बिछ गई हैं, जो नदी के तट पर लाशों के ढेर दिखे हैं, जो सरकार की बद इंतजामी दिखी है, कोरोना के उपकरणों में, सैनिटाइजर में, मास्क में, हर चीज़ में भ्रष्टाचार दिखा है, और प्रदेश का जो सबसे बड़ा चुनावी मुद्दा होने जा रहा है वो कोरोना की बद इंतजामी ही है। तो आते ही एक नाजुक विषय चुना और पब्लिक को सीधा टच किया। कल रात, अब मैं आता हूं इस बात पर कि बीजेपी क्यों परेशान है प्रियंका गांधी के इस एक्शन से। दरअसल गांधी परिवार को लेकर ब्राह्मण समुदाय हमेशा बड़ा सॉफ्ट रहा है। एक जमाने में कांग्रेस ने जो शासन किया वो दलित, ब्राह्मण और मुस्लिम का गठजोड़ था, तो बाकी बिरादरी ना हो, लेकिन ब्राह्मण और समुदाय के मन में गांधी परिवार की बड़ी इज्जत है और ब्राह्मण पिछले कई सालों से बहुत चिढ़ा बैठा है। आज खुशी दुबे, गांधी के आने से ब्राह्मणों को वो मंच मिल रहा है। अभी समाजवादी पार्टी ब्राह्मणों में उतनी पैठ नहीं बना पाई है। बसपा में ब्राह्मण जाते हुए नजर नहीं आ रहे हैं और भाजपा से बहुत नाराज हैं, क्योंकि ये माना जाता है कि भाजपा ब्राह्मणों की लगातार उपेक्षा कर रही है। अलग अलग मंचों से ये मैसेज दिया गया कि क्षत्रिय जो है बहुत हावी हैं, और पूर्वांचल में खासतौर से ब्राह्मण में और क्षत्रियों में राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंद्विता बहुत रहती है। आप सब जानते हैं इस बात को। तो ब्राह्मण दुखी हैं, नाराज हैं, लेकिन मंच नहीं है। बीजेपी को परेशानी ये हो रही है कि अगर प्रियंका गांधी इतनी एक्टिव रह गई उत्तर प्रदेश में, जैसे आज उन्होंने भाषण में कहा कि अब हमको 24 घंटे काम करना है, लगातार काम करना है, और जो जन सैलाब प्रियंका गांधी के साथ दिख रहा है, उससे ये मैसेज बिल्कुल बीजेपी के अंदर तक जा रहा है कि कहीं ऐसा ना हो ब्राह्मण समुदाय दोबारा से कन्वर्ट हो जाए, कांग्रेस में चला जाए। ये बात बीजेपी के नीचे से ऊपर के नेताओं तक खाई जा रहे हैं, और उसमें से ज्यादातर का मानना यह है कि चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, ब्राह्मण समुदाय का बहुत बड़ा वर्ग योगी जी के साथ सहज महसूस नहीं करेगा। प्रियंका गांधी इस बात को जानती हैं, और अब कांग्रेस की स्ट्रेटेजी ब्राह्मण समुदाय को अपनी तरफ आकर्षित करने की बन रही है, और प्रियंका गांधी के नेतृत्व में ये काम हो भी जाएगा। चुनौती उभर रही हैं प्रियंका गांधी, और प्रियंका गांधी सक्रिय रहती हैं, बहुत सक्रिय रहती है, बहुत सक्रिय रहती हैं, इसमें किसी को कोई शक नहीं। जब वो अपनी पे आती हैं, वो ऐसी जुझारू नेता हैं, जब वो अपनी पे आती हैं तो फिर वो आर पार कर लेती हैं। हमने तो उनको दसियों बार, दर्जनों बार ऐसी घटनाएं देखी हैं। कभी आपको याद होगा वो लखनऊ में स्कूटी पे बैठ के चल दी थी। गजब गजब की नेता हैं। और वो यूथ जो है ना, उनको वो अपनी बहन, अपनी दोस्त, एक ऐसी लड़की के रूप में अभी भी नजर दिखता है कि वो जो उन जैसी है। और नेता का आप जैसा होना ही उसका सबसे बड़ा गुण होता है। वो जो एरोगेंसी है ना, घमंड जो आपके चेहरे से टपकता है, वो आपको सबसे दूर करता है, नफरत करता है आदमी। इस देश में आप लिख के रख लीजिए।
One of the stablest states is being put under the pump by a maverick called Sidhu. Right? And that's, been difficult, and that fire has been created by the center, especially I'm told by the brother and sister duo. And this is what you've been hearing, right? Raging feud leaves Punjab Congress jittery, Gandhis lose neutral arbiter role. Fresh tremors in Punjab Congress ministers hold meeting, claim 34 MLAs want Amarinder out. Captain shows off strength as Sidhu is asked to sack aides. Won't be show horse, Sidhu warns Congress High Command. And look at this guy's audacity, right? Sidhu warns Gandhi, says, I will not spare anyone. Hey, who the hell is he, right? Congress Punjab General Secretary keeps pot boiling, questions Rawat, right? 4 ministers revolt against Punjab CM. His loyalists want Sidhu's advisors sacked. Truce looks elusive as Sidhu captain tried to shore up support. Congress snubs objections by captain and netas, appoints Sidhu PCC chief, and this was a big problem, right? Amid elusive truce, Sidhu show off strength at Golden Temple today. High turnout of MLAs as Sidhu rally supports. And the MLAs also don't know which side to go on, right? Captain to attend Sidhu's installation ceremony, which he did. Congress miffed with Sidhu's tweeting wants discipline. New PCC chief Sidhu faces protests by Punjab farmers. He doesn't, farmers don't accept him. Punjab Sidhu take over cold to Amrinder's gesture of peace. Sidhu picks new advisors, camp talks of MLA meet. No two power centers in Punjab. Congress CA's captain as Sidhu CM attends separate events. And in a jolt to Sidhu, Rawat says captain to lead Congress to polls. And that was an important statement, right? Captain to lead polls, says Congress amid Punjab turmoil. Singh is Punjab's captain, Sidhu camp told. In no uncertain terms. Amrinder to lead Punjab poll. Battle, says Congress amid infighting. And this is the important outcome of this, folks. And this was really important. Hope the center of the Congress party holds to their commitment. Cheers. 2 small states which are for the Congress to crack. One of them is Goa. They were the largest single party, not the BJP, but they lost the plot. But here they've made a first mover advantage. Congress has agreed to alliance for Goa. Poll says GFP chiefs. The other is Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand, the BJP is in disarray. COVID handled very poorly. The problem that they had with the Yatra, and then they have a problem. They've had 3 CMs. But for the Congress, what is critical, they have to name the CM and stay with the plot and stay united. Says Rawat, Congress de facto poll face in Uttarakhand, Congress leaders talk unity and meet, and that's the important part, folks. Stay focused. So in conclusion, folks, Congress is its own worst enemy. Rahul has got a huge bullseye on his back as far as the Modi Sarkar is concerned, but they have many positives and they've got to use them, right? And they've got to cut down this interscene warfare within their own self, right? And what happened? Wind blowing from Punjab stirs pilot camp hopes. So there's problems in Rajasthan. Makin ends Rajasthan visit. Gehlot says he's guardian of Congress MLAs. Rajasthan cabinet reject likely soon. Pilot may be shifted out. No concrete answer. Problems in Chhattisgarh. Crisis hit Chhattisgarh. Government has ministers and MLAs trade charges. Then you have Rahul meets Chhattisgarh CM minister amid leadership tussle. Will continue as Chhattisgarh CM Baghel after talks with Raga. Then you have problems in Bihar. It's now turn of Congress's Bihar unit to highlight rift. And then you finally have this platitude. Congress plans rejig with eye on state elections. But the biggest plan seems to be obviously the on and off Prashant Kishore, and hopefully they will get him, right? Congress holds meeting over Kishore revival plan. Strategist wants in. Buzz over Kishore's Congress entry grows. Prashant Kishore meets Rahul. Priyanka fans united opposition talk. And Congress revival plan focus of Kishore meet with the Gandhis. Now this is important stuff, right? And maybe he can become some kind of a wind behind the sail of the Congress, which desperately needs that, right, at this point of time. He says, Kishore's hand seen, the Congress High Command is known to drag its feet rather than take tough calls against entrenched state leaders. So Kishore might have had something to do with the Sidhu thing, but I think that's backfired, folks. However, hopefully he has the best interest of Congress at heart and his own, and not a Trojan horse, folks. At the end of the day, Rahul, I'm told from many sources, is not listening to anybody, not to his mother, not to anyone. If he does that, then what's the difference between him and Sino or Modi, folks? Jai Hind.